Are you happy, Internet? You asked, you pleaded, you begged, and we listened. Mega Man has been a staple of the gaming industry for decades. Who hasn't seen this blue humsicle of a Robo-Man and his legendary games? Ask anyone who's played Mega Man what defines the franchise, and you'll get the same answers over and over. Excellent level design, simple controls, creative boss fights, and a level of difficulty that is both infuriating and exhilarating. But Mega Man's popularity can be traced back to more than just excellent games he's a part of. The character himself, his quest and growth become our own. And unlike any other character, Mega Man truly brings out our desire to excel, succeed, and learn. The Blue Bomber has been largely forgotten by the newer generation of gamers. But to those who have played as him, his story brings us not just happiness, but a lesson in how to be a hero. I hear your skepticism. How does this clanky tin of blueness resemble any hero I've ever seen? He looks like a kid in a bad Halloween costume, or a Blue Man Group reject. Yet Mega Man defines something within us that makes us come back to his games over and over again. So without further ado, let's delve into Mega Man, the story you never knew. That rhymed. Alright, I'm so excited to play Mega Man. Here we go. What the fuck? Who are all these guys? I thought Bomberman had his own game. This was just the first difference between Mega Man and other games from his generation. Mega Man doesn't have a set level sequence despite having a set storyline. Instead, levels can be chosen in any order. This creates an odd effect that we don't generally find from video games. Imagine trying to play Halo, but choosing the second to last level to play first. That shit would be confusing as hell. But for Mega Man, this formula works. Mega Man lemons his way through stage after stage, with each one having its own setting and enemies. This gives the player a sense of wonder and feels as though we are exploring a whole new place with each level. The vast difference in the design of each level makes the simple objective of beating bosses have a larger purpose to the player, a task which was difficult to get across for a game that you had to blow on to make work. Game designers didn't have unlimited storage. On the contrary, they had very limited storage in an NES cartridge. So creating a game that felt worldly while still keeping the game itself simple was a major accomplishment. This worldly feel helped entice the player. It made a game that's otherwise just about jumping and shooting much more interesting. Before this era of gaming, games didn't really have plots. Games like Pac-Man or Donkey Kong, while being fun, really just told a small story so the game would make sense. Mega Man started to merge that line between storyline and gameplay in a brand new way. Gameplay was still focused on and appreciated before storyline, but the way the levels were designed and the differences in the bosses gave the feeling of traveling around the world, learning and growing stronger along the way, so at the end, Mega Man can use all his new strength to save the day. And that takes us to why Mega Man is doing all this in the first place. You might think that Mega Man's story is a bit blasé, but you're wrong. There's a rich, well, not rich, but 4 to 5 figure backstory to these games despite the variance in level order. The origin story of Mega Man begins with a robotics expert named Dr. Thomas Light. Before Dr. Light ever began constructing Mega Man, he first designed a robot dubbed Proto Man, most likely because he was the prototype for Dr. Light's future creations. Dr. Light gave his robots autonomy, the ability to choose what they should do. However, Light found an issue with Proto Man's power reactor. But before Light could fix him, the Robo-Dude ran away, fearing that he would lose his identity and become a different person. Well, not person, but a different Robo-Guy with a new personality. After Proto Man's disappearance, Light was worried sick and went out in search of his creation. Psych! He said fuck it and built a new pair of robots, Rock and his sister Roll. As you can see, Capcom had a very clever sense of humor. With the success of these two robots, Light designed all these guys optimized for different uses, all with human intelligence and reasoning potential. Little did Light know that these robots would change their insurance, realize that Light was no longer in their network, and have to switch their doctor to the evil Dr. Albert Wiley. Was that last line only put in as a commentary on America's healthcare system? Maybe. Now, where this frizzy-haired psycho came from is a whole other story. In an attempt to prove his manly scienciness to his longtime colleague and rival, Dr. Wiley constructed a robot factory in a plot to conquer the world. Wiley found Proto-Man, who was in the process of dying due to his failing power system. Wiley fixed the failing robot, and while repairing him, the evil doctor learned how to create robots of the same complexity as Light's. Dr. Wiley then decided to reprogram the rest of Light's robots to exact his revenge and rule the world. These events led to the design of Mega Man. Dr. Light knew that it would be difficult to stop his robots. He had designed them after all. Rock, his assistant robot, volunteered to be upgraded. And so, on May 25th, 2000X, he became known as Mega Man. His sister still does housekeeping, however. It could have been a sweet duo co-op game, but no, it had to be an amazing single-player game with mild tones of sexism. That pretty much sets up every Mega Man game in the classic series. We could tell you about how the story is actually a lesson in artificial intelligence and that Dr. Light is the real villain because he kept programming super powerful robots without keeping Asimov's 3 laws of robotics in mind, but somebody already took that one. Instead, let's rip off sequelitis and talk about game design. One of the defining features of the Mega Man games is their difficulty. NES platformers of days gone by are held up by many of today's gamers as a model for difficult but rewarding design. And it's true, these games were gosh darn hard and fun as hell. That's true for basically all of the classic Mega Man games and gave birth to beautiful gaming gems like Mega Man 2. It's obvious what that kind of difficulty teaches us. It gives the player perseverance in the face of obstacles, the ability to say, "Fuck you, game, I will defeat you," and then actually do it. Games being so easy nowadays could be part of why kids today are so goddamn entitled. That's right, millennials, get your shit together. Spoiled brats getting smartphones at the age of 9. Not like us 90s kids, we got regular cell phones at the age of 9. We had it rough. The Mega Man games weren't just hard for the sake of being hard. They were fair and made you learn and adapt. Each enemy, each boss had a set pattern, and if you paid attention, took notes, and tried different strategies, you would eventually come out on top. That really isn't much different from real life. Whether it's your next test, a job interview, or just figuring out how to ask that cute person out on a date, if you pay attention, take notes, and try different strategies, you will eventually figure out how to beat it. That's our specialty as humans. We adapt and learn, and it feels good. That's why Mega Man games are so fun, and at the same time, that's what Mega Man games teach us. Even the new weapons you acquire after each boss battle symbolize this process. The new abilities for your Buster show the player that Mega Man is learning in literal terms. But it's more than that. Each challenge you defeat and overcome gives you more tools, more experience, which you can use to help make new challenges easier. Each problem becomes a stepping stone until you can overcome problems that you would have never been able to defeat in the beginning. While this is a design choice we've seen in other notable franchises, Mega Man is the first to perfect it and is still one of the most satisfying examples. So when your mom tells you to wash the dishes, the patience you learn from having to put up with that bullshit might become your metal blade. Thanks, Mom! Here comes the biggest lesson Mega Man has to offer. After all that hardship, perseverance, and learning, you finally overcome the game's biggest challenge, Dr. Wily. He bends the knee before you and grovels before your mighty lemons. The difficult path behind you has led up to this very moment, and poof, Wily disappears or gets away through some bullshit means only to come back in the next Mega Man game with the same recycled plot. Is this an overused plot device that Capcom used to pump out as many Mega Man games as possible as quickly as possible? Probably. But let's read into it anyway. Wily's inevitable escape and inevitable return in the next Mega Man game isn't just an overused plot device. It's how life works. You focus on a goal, even a big goal. Maybe it's getting into your dream school or getting that dream job. You learn and adapt and finally get what you wanted. Is life over? Does it just end after your crowning achievement? No! Once you climb one mountain, sure, you take some time to enjoy the view, but there's still plenty of other mountains yet to climb. Life keeps moving forward, to the next challenge, to the next goal, to the next big thing. But really, what happened along the way is what made it so much fun. These lessons all come to you through the Blue Bomber, that lemon-shooting, leaf-shielding, metal-blading hero we call Mega Man. His story is one of difficulties, but it resembles our own goals and desires to succeed. And even when we do succeed, there is always more to do, more to learn, more to become. Much like Mega Man, life is difficult. It will knock you down, infuriate you, and make you want to give up. But Mega Man teaches us that through perseverance and experience, we all can overcome evil robots taking over the world. It's been decades since Mega Man's heyday, but the lessons given to us through his classic games are sure to last a lifetime. Or even longer if you're a robot. And that's the story. You never knew. Hey, you there. Yeah, you. You liked that video, didn't you? Oh, what was that? You already knew that story? Oh, alright. That's okay. Maybe this video over here will have a story that you may or may not have known. It's about Gold. You know, that Pokemon guy who isn't as cool as Red. Yeah, him. By the way, do you happen to know any earthworms we could talk to for the next episode? Jim's kind of an ass.